I thank the Speaker, thank my friend from Michigan, and my colleague from Massachusetts for your kind words. And, sir, this is overdue. I agree completely. And that's why I rise today with great pride. Soon, the House will join the Senate in passing a bill to give the Congressional Gold Medal to the Doolittle Raiders of World War II. These heroes planned the siege to win World War II. Without their attack on Japan, America might have lost the war. The war started on December 7th, 1941, when Japanese aircraft attacked Pearl Harbor without warning. All 8 of our battleships were damaged. 4 were sunk. Americans were scared. Japan controlled the whole Pacific. Sometime in 1942, Americans expected Japanese bombs to hit San Diego, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Portland, Seattle. President Roosevelt knew we must strike Japan to show all Americans that we could and would win this war. He had one problem. No American airplane had the range or payload to bomb Japan from American-controlled soil. It'd be a suicide mission. That solution came up from a Navy captain, Captain Francis Lowe, who thought maybe we could have army bombers take off of an aircraft carrier. On February 3rd, they tried that out with 2 B-25s loaded on the Hornet outside of Norfolk. They took off and proved it was possible. The Army again chose the B-25 as the bomber of choice. The Navy picked the Hornet to take the B-25s to Japan and bomb Japan. But the most important decision was the leader, Colonel Jimmy. Colonel Doolittle assembled flight crews at Eglin Field in Florida in late February of 1942. These weren't experienced pilots. They were chosen because they could fly a new plane, the B-25. Colonel Doolittle told these men they had a secret special mission. They were going to bomb Japan with B-25s. They had 1 month learned to take a B-25 off the deck of an aircraft carrier. But they would never train on the Hornet, another carrier. They would train on ground, a runway painted to model the flight deck of the Hornet. On March 25th of 1942, they were ready. They flew to Naval Air Station Alameda near San Francisco and saw the Hornet for the first time. On April 2nd, they sailed for Japan with 16 B-25s locked down on the flight deck. On April 18th, their mission almost ended. They were spotted by a Japanese patrol boat. America could not lose the Hornet. She was too precious. So Colonel Doolittle and Captain Mishner decided to launch the B-25s 10 hours before it was planned. They would not have the fuel to bomb Japan and fly to safety in unoccupied China as part of the plan. They would go down in Japanese territory. Despite rough seas, all 16 B-25s launched off. They bombed Tokyo, other cities. The property damage was small, but the damage to Japanese morale could not be measured. For the first time in over 1,000 years, Japan had been bombed by a foreign nation. And because of that one single raid, Japan pushed to provoke a confrontation with our Navy. They got sloppy. We ambushed them off of Midway on June 4th of 1942, sinking 4 of their aircraft carriers that destroyed our fleet at Pearl Harbor. "80 heroes took off from the Hornet. 3 died when the aircraft crashed. 8 were captured by the Japanese. 3 of those were killed by firing squad. 1 died of malnourishment. 4 spent the war in captivity as prisoners of our allies, the Russians. Of the 80 heroes who roared down that deck, 73 came home. Only 4 are with us today. Lieutenant Colonel Robert Height, co-pilot B-17 number 16, the last one off the deck. Lieutenant Colonel Edward Saylor, engineer B-25-15, right before Lieutenant Colonel Height. Staff Sergeant David Thatcher, the gunner, on B-17 number 7, B-25 number 7. And my friend from Comfort, Texas, Lieutenant Colonel Dick. Dick sat next to Colonel Doolittle on B-25 number 1 as she roared down the flight deck and took off into history. And that's why this medal is so important. By passing this bill today and having President Obama sign it into law, we tell my friend Dick Cole, his 3 living colleagues, and the 76 heroes who've gone on to heaven that we will never forget that they kept the torch of freedom burning brighter with the raid on Japan. I ask my colleagues to strongly support H.R. 1209. I yield back.